Yeah, I drew that edge of node on NQ, the 1 hour chart there. It looks like we just bounced right off of it. Yeah, that was very interesting to see a good bounce off that node there. And if we bounce here, it would make a lot of sense. Mind you, we have already bounced here. So we opened at roughly 73.60. So I'm going to give straddle about 5-point bump. Since the straddle is about 53 points, 52 points, I believe. $73.10. That looks good. We gapped the gap. Gotta love that. All right, so where are we now? Yeah, NQ had a nice bounce there. That was such a beautiful bounce. CMH. It keeps going down. All right. This looks like YM is extremely weak here. It just took out the previous day lows. Actually, it's working on the previous day lows again. VIX is up pretty high at 20. Question is, yeah, that was a really good bounce on NQ. That's something I wanted to play, but it happened so quickly off the first 2 minutes that I was not ready for it. I like the gravity to the downside there, but I'm not willing to take any risks at the moment. Hey, Koshik. No. No trades. Well, I missed one. I did have, I did try like a long trade prior to market, but it was pretty insignificant. But it got me back up a little on this Tradeify account, because the Tradeify account that we've been tracking on stream went to my daily loss limit, which kind of sucked. I felt like I was headed there anyways prior to closing the stream, and then obviously in the afternoon I did something funky and ended up there. So yeah, I think it was just like a $300 trade on ES long this morning, but nothing crazy. It was off the SMT. Didn't want to take too much risk. Didn't believe in the upside completely. But there is this edge of node here at 630 on NQ that I wanted to long, but I wasn't paying close attention to it at the moment. And it happened within the first 2 minutes, and NQ pumped from there bigly. Like, it pumped 150 points essentially off that edge of node that I marked here. I think the drawdown would have been somewhere around like 15 points. 9:45 orange news. Okay, I'll be waiting for that. But that did offer a decent long opportunity. And then we also had this, so where I drew the volume profile happens to be where the edge of node is, but also it happens to be where the value area low is, of where I had drawn this anchored volume profile. So it's like between the confluence of the two volume profile edges on ES and NQ, it seemed like a decent long opportunity, and that it was. But this tank move, this move down is kind of crazy. I'm not sure what to expect today, because we gapped the gap here. There's a gap at 74.20, and then we gapped that gap. I mean, it ended up being almost like 100 points down, maybe just over 100 point down on SPX. And on ES and NQ, it was just like a straight line down overnight. No idea what the news was. I heard South Korea also went limit down, so they had their circuit breakers trigger. I know South Korea has been doing really well lately because they had allowed leveraging up on the stock market. So everyone started leveraging up and going long, and now I guess it's the pullback. I don't anticipate a gap fill today, but you very much could get one. I know Trump tried to do something at around like 7:20 this morning. I was tracking the news. And I noticed he was talking about the MOU agreement with Iran, basically listing out some of the details, which I thought would be positive. And I guess we kind of got like a move up, but we were talking about maybe 10 points up from when that news came in. And then we started spooling back down. Yeah, with respect to positioning, I thought we might want to roll down towards like 7,300, towards that area. The straddle's 52, I believe. All right, so there's 945. Let's see here. US 2-year yields is still up high at about 4.2. US 10-year yields at 4.48. VIX came down a little there. Yeah, I would think the gravity is down towards 7,300, mainly because of the positive gamma concentration down there at around 7,300. It goes from 7,300 down to like 7,250, I believe. What's interesting is based on the algorithm that OptionsDepth calculates their positioning, I'm seeing a difference between what Vol Signals is showing. Vol Signals is his platform is showing 6K positions at 73.90 and 7,400. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. We rejected 73.90 earlier this morning at around like 8 o'clock. And that was pretty much the high there. Yeah, that's insane. But yeah, I think like most of the Western birth rate is really low, which is why like they were trying to expedite immigration so that way their GDP would still go up. But in South Korea, I don't think they they did any immigration. Like not mass immigration, like the way that that the West did it. Yeah, look at that. Oh my goodness. Holy cow. I should have just freaking blindly took that long off that 1 hour level. That was kind of perfect. Couldn't have asked for any better, to be honest. And the beauty of what ES did was it gave me a low risk entry too at around like 74.17 had I wanted to go long. I like long in the first bounce, but dang. Yeah, I couldn't have drawn a better line than that. Golly. NQ might try to go for its VWAP, which is way up there. But it's also at the next edge of node, way up there. And that's a node that we didn't respect on the way down. $9.36. Yeah, 9.36 would have been so good. Super low risk. It would have been like infinity R, right? I'd be shocked if we gap filled today. But maybe we do, you know? Like, this market has not been very predictable. All right, so we're hanging out at that 74.90 area. We're hanging out at 73.96 at the moment. I'd like to see how we act around 7,400. Oh, this hurts. I should have been paying closer attention to that. It was like one of the things I marked out just to make sure that, like, maybe I should have put an alert on it, an audible alert. And this looks like it's going 74.25, 74.25, 74.20. If we can bust through the 7,400 area. Got 5 minutes on this 1 hour close, and this 1 hour close is going to look super bullish. Four-hour close will look that way too. All right, where are we here? I'm not seeing anything here at the moment besides that 7,400 level. So I'm just watching this area closely. Minute left until the 1 hour close here and 4 hour close. I'd like to see how we act around the NQ VWAP. Yeah, the profile basically shows upside volatility in a sense that, like, there's no liquidity to the upside. And then whenever we do find some liquidity, we could reject, like, because of the negative gamma, right? But to the downside, we'd be extremely stable to the downside. Slow, stable, downside move. But so far, we just got a one directional move to the upside. Essentially in negative gamma dominance. Yeah, basically from 73.80 and up, you got negative gamma dominance here. All right, so now that we're here, let's see if we get some sort of reaction. $74.20. Oh, we haven't reached 74.20 yet, though. It's only 74.10. I thought we would reach 74.20 on SPX when NQ hit that. Yeah, I'm getting that feeling too. Like, missed the long opportunity, which was, like, to me, the most likely scenario to play a reversion back up. I don't think I would have held it all the way, though. I think VWAP would have been good enough for me. Like, and that would be on maybe just one account left had I taken it on multiple accounts. But yeah, today looks like a day that it's not worth trading. Going down so far on that Tradeify account, it makes me want to like just go crazy with that account to try to get it all back. But I mean, it's still up, and the trailing max drawdown ends up capping at 50,100, I believe. So I still have about 1,400 worth of drawdown, which isn't bad. So I'm gonna try to just stay even keel on that account and just try to trade it back up. Okay, what's happening here? Yeah, that's right. I think that's basically the plan. The stupid part is like remembering to take it. That's when copy trading actually is better, I guess. Okay, so you're getting a little bit of a pullback on NQ here off VWAP and off the edge of that node. Just a slight pullback. It's nothing major or anything. It looks like upside is will likely hold. I tried a single M and Q there, but I don't think I only ended up trying one M and Q, so, and we're looking at maybe 40 points. point stop loss, which will end up likely hitting. Yeah, that took me out. Single account there, so I wasn't too worried about it. Thought I'd try it. Mind you, that I think it went 1-to-1. Almost. But I was looking for a better pullback. Yeah, it was interesting to see. That might have been. I want to see some sort of SMT. That was a straddle high on SPX2. We got pretty close to. We got pretty close to 74.20 there. This is where I wanted to see the rejection. But this is not anything like high confidence. So I'm not seeing anything here. Like I would love to see an SMT of some sort around here. Straddle high rejection, but 74.20 was roughly what the gap fill was supposed to be on the way down, which we didn't end up hitting. YM is now pushing up. Maybe this is one of those gap fill kind of days. I mean, it went straight line down, so it's possible to do a straight line back up. But if we were going to reject anywhere and do like a tiny pullback, I would expect it to be around here. but it doesn't look like it's going to pull back here. Just the way that SPX or ES keeps on pushing here too. Seeing VIX is also coming down pretty good. Starting to work on that gap because it did like a I'm going to say about a 2-point gap up VIX. Yeah, nothing here makes me want to take any shots. I think like the only opportunity was again off like that 936 entry. So it's kind of disappointing. The price action has slowed here on NQ. YM's pretty much picking up the slack. Yeah, I think you're right, Koshik. It's going to be nothing today. Yeah, the 4-hour close on VS and NQ looks pretty good for a long. The 4-hour close is at like 10 a.m. and the 1-hour close is also at 10 a.m. Like everything, 2-hour close too, 10 a.m. and they all look like they're pointing up. Unreported 80 billion supplemental that the Pentagon believes is needed for war because Iran will never have nuclear weapons. I don't understand that. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, we're still hovering around the 7420 area on SPX. I guess it is pretty sticky. 7420. Is that Italy? That's Italy's prime minister, right? Oh, is she not? What's happening with her? She's normally pretty steady, no? Looks like the POC came up here on NQ. ES has not yet risen up here. Yeah, 74.20 area is pretty sticky. This looks like it's gonna be funny. Give me a sec. It's so good. I guess Trump came out and said, "Hey, Italy's begging us or whatever." So funny. Yeah, 74.20 area was like a decent spot to try a short, but like I didn't see what I wanted to see. Tough one. Very tough one. Yeah, Trump does like he totally comes out and says these things, and he's just like, "Oh, they're begging us." It's just to drive the narrative for whatever he needs. Like, for instance, like, "Hey, let's go after Greenland. Let's threaten Greenland." And then really the intent was like to give the EU cover to spend on military, but due to Trump, right? But in reality, the EU was increasing spending. Well, the US wants EU to increase spending on the military regardless. It didn't matter if it was against Trump. It didn't matter if it was against the like Russian, Chinese allies. So it's just kind of funny. Yeah, it's holding up okay here, even though this was like the spot to kind of watch out for. The 5-minute ADMA, so if we want to trend up, this is the hold. after such a move up, I would have expected to see a little bit more down. Minute doji there. What are we gonna do? Not a high volume one either. A decent rejection spot. What's the risk? About 8 points. Yeah. I like the 15-minute close, but I'm not loving the risk here. Yeah, it's the 74.20 area. It's been this 74.20 area. So crazy. $74.20. And like the confluence with this, the daily gamma trough area. Like there's not much in between, but I wanted to see 74.20-ish. And we got it. I guess I could have entered off the 15-minute doji there. The volatility is just too high for me to feel comfortable trading this. I would like, so if 74.20 was the entry to go short, I probably would have want to see 7400 SPX. But it looks like it didn't hit. I think the low was 7406. And then it's a moment of truth to see if we actually float up here. Question is, if we do go down, how far do we go? Like 7,400? Oh no. An SPX, it's hard to tell. Or do we go down all the way? And head down towards 7,300? Like, that'd be absurd, right? Or maybe this SMT holds between ES and NQ here at the lows. If I was in the short, TP would be 74.53, 74.53. Yeah, okay, I can see why. Wow, that SMT is holding. So maybe a drift up it is. Or is that just a short-term bounce? See, VIX isn't doing anything crazy. It looks like it might be coming back down. I can't say I'm in love with anything here. Yeah, I know. What the heck? That was insane. $82. Yeah, that would have been a 10-point SL had we gotten an entry. I mean, I like a good opportunity for re-entry, but like, what kills me is like, we're at the straddle high. We're at like 74.20. So if we do want to pull back, this would be the spot to pull back. So going long kind of sucks. But yeah, like short is the way to go. Holy cow. Like I definitely can't go long here. So shorts is definitely the preferred. but it's extremely volatile. Actually, let me check the straddle right now to see where we're at. Straddle's around 39 right now. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like that 15-minute close. 15-minute close was really nice. Doji. I should have just slapped it. But if I slapped it, I would have probably gotten a break-even stop loss trying to hold. Because I probably would have entered somewhere around like 82, 81, I would imagine. Did you see anything on a bull bear indicator? 10-10. Yeah, I see the 10-10. And it happened on both ES and NQ. But it didn't happen on the 10-20. How about the 10-22 candle? Yeah, the only... I think 10:30 candle, like right at 10:30 when the 15-minute closes doji, I think that would be the only opportunity. And depending on when you hit market order, your stop loss probably would have already hit. Like, sorry, for me, like, that's where I probably would have entered, and I would have moved stop loss pretty quickly, just based on the volatility. And mind you, it did go... It went almost 10 points, maybe. Yeah, about 10 points. And then it ran back up. And yeah, it probably would have hit my stop loss. Yeah. South Korea. Yeah, because they hit a massive what do you call it? The circuit breaker. It's a straddle. The straddle still. What are we looking at here? 1050. 37. Straddle's still sitting around 37. So it's about what, 18 points, 19 points per side at the money. NQ reached its TP. Where was the TP on NQ for you? Nine, 5, 6 candle. Oh, interesting. Interesting that you chose a 956 candle on NQ. Like on NQ, it didn't look like anything to me. But I would aim for the volume imbalance at 815. But man, the 15-minute, that's on the 5-minute. There's a volume imbalance at around 820, 815, around that area on NQ. But the 15-minute has a pretty large volume imbalance too, at around like 29,750. Yeah, that's fair. 50% fib sounds very reasonable. I'm not like, I don't have a good feeling about where this might go. Like, I don't mind an afternoon drift towards 73.50, maybe even 7,300. Yeah, as much as I like an afternoon drift down towards 7,300, this area around 73.25, 73.45 is starting to build up negative gamma, which could offer some sort of violent bounce off of it. Or just a complete quick move through it. But like obviously the upside we have the gap fill, but just not. Yeah, that 1 hour close is gonna close pretty bearish there. And this is all driven by NQ. Like YM is not following at all. Like it's in its own little world. Yeah, it's just trickling down here. There's no way to get in. Yeah, on ES on the 5 minute, there's like no fair value gaps. Not a lot of imbalances on the way down. Actually, even on NQ, very little imbalances on the way down. There's a 15-minute fair value gap on ES and NQ. Yeah, I'm definitely not seeing anything here. Nothing I would want to risk anyways. %50 fib. It's trickling down pretty good here. One hour closed like pretty massive top wick and high volume too. So I feel like this is going to get heavy really quickly. Let's see what it does on that 15-minute volume imbalance on NQ. I think we touched that. Yeah, that's an interesting, very interesting snippet that you sent over. It's very today the moves have been extremely directional ever since 9:30 started. Very one-way kind of move. Mind you, the down move is like chopped down a little. Like it was a very slow down move. Yeah, I kind of I do find it very funny that the US is quote unquote not paying. All right, moment of truth. Well, actually, we still haven't hit that 15-minute VI. So I kind of want to see that hit first. Yeah, I still don't know where this is going. Like downside has a lot of support that's starting to kind of build up here. Especially at 73.50. But it's like the lone position. I'm just looking back to the 5-minute chart and looking at the first red candle on ES was the 1020 candle, and it had higher volume than its previous candle. Nothing that great, I would say. Candle formation doesn't look that great, but it happened on both NQ and ES, and it happened to be the top. Ooh, interesting. I only recently saw it. And I have no idea what the motivation was or anything like that. But that's insane because I think I saw like someone post a video of the incident, and the dude was like trying to gun down cops, and I think he was successful in the process. Like there was one laying right in front of him, and I was like, wow, this is insane. So I thought that Montreal incident was pretty wild to see. But it's interesting that it's getting international attention. I wonder if like social media picked it up and then it just kind of ran with it, you know? In a Jewish neighborhood and suspect that this is a hate crime. Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, moment of truth here. Let's see if this VI holds. It always also happens to be like let me see. Maybe not. Yeah, this is the volume imbalance. And it's just, everything's just trickling through. Holy cow. What a move so far. Now, this is a tough move to sit through. But I should have definitely tried it. Either off the 5-minute or the 15-minute close at 10:15 candle or 10:20 candle on the 5-minute. Okay, let's see if this bounce holds. Yeah, like I get the feeling that like so far we've been trickling lower and lower and lower. And I just get the feeling that we're going to that 74.20 area that we were watching for earlier is likely to just be the top on the day. And we're going to trickle down to 73.50 and possibly run through to 73.20. But it's hard to tell. Charm is like deeply suppressive here. Well, it starts really trickling. The charm starts picking up much later in the day, like around 12 afternoon, basically. But yeah, everything's been very one directional. So it makes it very hard. Well, if you're in a trade, maybe it might be easier. But if you're not in a trade, it makes it really hard to play. This move's amazing. Let's see where are we at for the straddle here. Straddle sitting just under 35. Straddle's just decaying, as it should. It's a perfect market maker sell model. Yeah. Yeah, first you got the market maker buy model. Then you got the market maker sell model. But the long, like, I think we definitely should have played that long. Well, we got the hindsight 2020, but like that was a very high probability bounce zone. Sadly, didn't see a few other things, and maybe I should have been paying a bit closer attention to it, but dad damn it. Not much I can do now. And then the 50-minute top was interesting too, because it was at 74.20. And you got a 15-minute doji that ended that ultimately led to the 1 hour massive top wick. So like, I think it was very tradable based on how I would normally take a trade. Just a little hesitant after the losses I took yesterday. So I got to do a better job of compartmentalizing, separating yesterday from today. Are we finally going to move up here? Little 5-minute doji with high volume. I don't know if I can trust it though. This would just be a slight retracement, I would think. Yeah, it looks like the 5-minute doji is the pullback up. Now, question is this back up to the high of day or regular trading hour high? Or is this just going to be a pullback higher in order to short? I think, did you end up picking up that long there? It's kind of tough. On the 1 minute, it was a little tough. But maybe the 11:25 candle, 11:30 candle. No, not in any trades. Okay. Yeah, I think it's one of those days. It's better just to stay on the market. Yeah, that's fair. Like we were pretty, yeah, that's a tough one. we're pretty close to value area low there, but yeah, this is hard for me to kind of decipher. Is this going to continue further down, or is this going to continue further up? But had I taken that 5-minute scalp up, 5-minute play up, I would have treated it like a scalp. Would have probably taken it off like at around 74.50. Had I entered in at 74.40. So 10 points at most. Just a little hindsight trade. Funny enough, I didn't even hit 74.50. I guess we're headed further down. Unless this is just the SMT. Or maybe it is the SMT. Let's see. Let's see how this looks. Okay. Yeah, ES, NQ went a little lower there. ES did not. I wouldn't expect ES to hold here, to be honest. Like I get the feeling that we're gonna head further down. Like path of least resistance seemed like down, just based on the dealer profile. But it's got a lot to contend with at 75.50 and below in order to make it to the originally thought of 7,300. Before, there wasn't many positions here. They used to be around these black dots. Yeah, I guess no SMT there. But maybe the 15-minute might try to close like some sort of doji or something. But we are slowing down here quite a bit. This is technically value area low. So it would be a reasonable bounce spot. Yeah, yeah, that's right. It didn't work. I think this 15-minute candle is going to close doji. 3 minutes left on it. Like, I think it matters mainly because we're at value area low here on both ES and NQ. And it looks like the NQ volume is going to pick up here on the 15-minute candle. Unless in the last 2 minutes it runs quite a bit lower, which could happen, but NQ is at value area high and ES is at POC. That must be, those aren't intraday levels, right? That's not a intraday session level. Oh yeah, value area low. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, POC actually just shifted down on ES. So let's see NQ here. What are we gonna do? Got a minute left. Yeah, it was actually value area low on ES until the POC just shifted. Mind you, the value area low on the 1 hour, it's like quite a bit lower because the POC was basically here already on the 1 hour. Okay, this 15-minute candle looks like it's going to be pretty green with volume on ES. NQ might close doji. Yeah, on the lower time frames, like the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15-minute. Well, I was tracking the 5 minute and the 15-minute, and it looked like the ES POC just shifted back down after being at around like 74.75 or something, which is why like tracking the 1 hour one is probably better. 8 seconds left, and it's going to be a doji on NQ. Doji on NQ, higher volume. It's an uphill battle, but I would normally want to take a long here, similar to the one on the top, but I don't think I'm going to take it though. Yeah, 930 lows would be good. VIX is just sitting here at 19.66. In theory, we should shift up based on NQ alone. And value area low. Value area low bounce. Plus the 15-minute volume there. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I agree. There you go. Did that take the highs yet? 925. Oh no, equal highs. As if it'll be equal highs there. And NQ didn't even get close to its 15-minute high of candle, which is what I would have expected at the very least. Alright, maybe NQ is finally ready to go. That long trade on ES is definitely just relying on NQ. Alright, I think I got a cutout. I gotta see if I can go get something. Appointment. So I'll see you tomorrow. And hopefully I don't do anything stupid in the afternoon. Oh yeah, there you go. The trade's going now. Are you taking it to just about VWAP? Man. That's 7463, 7463. Oh, that's just above VWAP. That looks pretty good. That probably shouldn't have been a paper trade in hindsight. Like, well, we have the benefit of hindsight now. But we're talking about the 15-minute candle. Like, that ended up being 50 points from the entry on NQ. More than 50 points. It keeps going. All right, I'm going to cut out. I'll see you tomorrow.